afternoon, Khairan. How are you?
Good afternoon. Fine, thank you, Mr. Glenn.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm very excited to talk to you. Now, I hear amazing things. I hear you've been very busy.
Yeah.
You told me you've got another competition next week.
Yeah, I think it's next week. Yeah, no, it is next week. Yeah.
What competition is it?
I believe it's science and mathematics.
Wow, okay. Double barrel. Science and
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
I'm actually quite nervous, but I'm just excited because I think this is one of my first online like competitions of like education or something like that. Yeah. So.
Of course, yeah. So it's going to be very different.
Yeah, it's so different. It's so different. I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's a difficult time. Everything's online. Competitions, projects, singing songs online.
Yeah.
Everything's quite difficult. How do you manage your time? How do you manage to do that all?
This is the thing I actually want to tell. Usually, honestly, being very honest, sometimes I get a little stressful, honestly. But I have to remind myself that I need to be proactive at the end of the day because whining is not going to get me anywhere. Like,
Sure.
Nowhere. It's nowhere. So I try to manage my time by first, for example, there's an assignment due next week, but usually they have different dates, right? And I try to do the earliest due date first, and probably try to do the hardest one first, that is more complex.
Oh, very good.
And yeah, and once you do it, it honestly feel like once like you do it, it doesn't really feel that complex anymore because usually it gets pretty hard when you think about it. But when you do it, it just feels like, oh, okay, it's just like learning and stuff like that.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So build it up in your mind. Yes.
Yeah.
So you've been able to manage your time okay?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised honestly because there was a lot of things to do for next week, for this week, especially with the singing project, competition. Right after this, I gotta,
Something else.
I have to learn for math and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
And not to mention all the quizzes and tests, exams. Yeah. Ooh.
And during this time as well, is it possible? How do you synergize with other people? Like, is that more difficult? Is that easier now?
Okay, here's the thing. Communication has been a tough challenge for this whole entire online thing, because usually when we go at school, we can just directly ask the teacher. If they're in the staff room, we can just go in there. But in this era, especially, we have to like text them emails, and usually Wi-Fi speed and stuff, connection speed, lags, delays. Everything stuff like that, especially every time you're in a Zoom class and all of a sudden your connection crash or something, then you have to reconnect. It's a lot harder, but it's doable. It's doable. So here's the thing. Every time this whole entire like COVID pandemic happened, like everything just shift. Like all your plans for this year, for last year's 2020, it just all shift. It just completely shift. Last time at 2020, I had GSSY. But then, because of the whole entire COVID pandemic, the whole entire soccer league was stopped. There was no competition, but everybody got a certificate. It's good, and this whole thing actually forces us to like kind of adapt to the environment because it's like adapt or like being left out. Because in this situation, it's just hard to do like regular things like that we used to do in like a couple of years ago, like go outside, hang some friends, and that it's not like that, and it makes things quite harder. But if you think about it, if it makes me independent or not, it actually forces you to do things in a more practical way, and also changes your habits a little at home, because usually all you do at home is just basically like your environment around you right now. Like it's not like school. Like school is all about learning, and then right now you're supposed to like force yourself to think that your house is basically school at the weekdays. So that's something that kind of changes you a little. This whole
It's
thing.
a different mindset, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, different. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So, looking forward to the future.
Yeah.
Are you excited about the future? Are you nervous about the future? How do you feel?
Ooh, that's very it really depends on the condition, honestly. because I thought that at 2021 everything would like stop, but then things started to happen again. I mean, we started to get the vaccines and stuff like that. We're just waiting for the right time, and I just really hope that the future would be better for all of us. I know this will end at some point, but it's our duty and our opportunity to at least try something different for once in our lives, and to at least adapt to something that massively shift. It's just
that's a very positive outlook. That's a very good way to think. Like really look at it like this is a challenge and we'll make the most of it. So that's a very positive. Well done. Let me see. If you were going to give last question, if you were going to give advice to a student younger than you, what advice would you give them?
Okay, students for younger than me. First thing is that don't be lazy. That's the first. Never be lazy, because once if you don't have any will to study and stuff like that, it's gonna be hard. And second, look what's in front of you. What's your future? What's your goal? You try to get it as best as you can if you have to, especially in this whole entire pandemic. I know it's hard, but trust me, if you use the 7 habits, what you do at school, being proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first things first, think win-win, seek first to understand and to be understood, synergize, and just sharpen the saw. If you use those things properly at home, it would be doable. And lastly, it's hard, but you have to plan the things that you want to do for the next few weeks, because usually in this whole entire online thing, again, it's hard for some people to communicate. So it's not like at school where you just listen, and then you directly got the point. But for this one, you really have to really dig into yourself. You have to work out more of everything that you need to do, because it's a lot harder, and that's the advice I give for the younger students.
Very good. That's very wise and very good advice. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Glenn.
Okay, I'll let you go back to studying for your competitions next week.
Thank you, Mr. Glenn. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Take care, yeah?
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.